Hello, I'm Harry. I live in England with my mum, dad, and little sister Rosa. Last month at school, we did a project about clothes. At first, I said to my teacher, "But I don't know anything about clothes." "Yes, you do," she said. "How many different clothes can you see on the street? Which clothes can you see on the television? Think about all the different clothes which you wear in just 1 week." So, that's what I did. Everyday clothes. The next day, I thought about all the clothes which my family and I wear in just 1 week. When we wake up, we like to wear our night clothes and sit at the breakfast table. These are the clothes we wore in bed. My dad and I wear pyjamas, and my mum and my sister wear night dresses. We have slippers on our feet, and in winter we wear dressing gowns to keep warm. These are comfortable clothes. Then we get ready for school and work. I wear a uniform for school. I don't like it. It's very smart, but it's not comfortable. I have to wear black trousers, a blue shirt, and a tie round my neck. The uniform tells people which school we go to. Children from other schools in my city wear a different uniform. So people can learn things about us when they look at our clothes. My parents wear uniforms too. Mum is a police officer and Dad is a chef. People can look at their uniforms and know which jobs they do. Mum's uniform is smart. It also protects her. She wears a hard hat and boots. Then nothing can hurt her feet and head when she's working. Dad's uniform keeps his clothes clean. His hat stops hair from getting into the food. Ugh. My little sister Rosa doesn't wear a uniform at school because she is too young. She likes to wear lots of pink things and stripy socks in all the colours of the rainbow. Sometimes Rosa wears Wellington boots with her princess dress. She looks silly, but she feels beautiful. And she does not like to wear her warm coat. Sometimes I tell her, when it is really cold outside, you have to wear a warm coat. At school, I don't wear my uniform all day. I change out of my uniform and into shorts and a t-shirt for sports. I wear special clothes for cooking and art. When I go swimming, I wear a swimsuit. We really do need a lot of different clothes for different occasions. I started to collect all these ideas for my school project. I collected photographs of myself and my family in different clothes. I also cut photos from magazines. Then I thought about what I wear outside school. As soon as I get home from school each day, I take off my uniform. This makes me happy. I put on my jeans and a t-shirt or jumper. I like to feel comfortable and casual. At weekends, we usually visit my grandparents. My mum always makes me wear a nice shirt and shiny shoes. I don't know why. I already had a lot of things to write about for my project. My teacher was right. I just had to look round me. I wanted to learn more. I looked out of the bus window on my way to school and I wrote about what I saw in a book. I saw so many different kinds of clothes. I saw people in suits and other smart clothes for work. I saw people in fashionable clothes and people in sensible clothes. I saw people in work clothes and fun clothes. I saw people in new clothes and old clothes, expensive clothes and cheap clothes. I saw so many shoes. I saw shoes with high heels and shoes with low heels. I saw long boots and short boots, sports shoes and smart shoes. I saw a lot of interesting hats. I wrote everything down in my book. Different clothes for different times. My mum and dad are 40 years old. That's really old. They don't wear the same clothes as my friends and I do. They would like to be fashionable, but they aren't. My dad has some really ugly jumpers. When they were younger, my mum and dad wore some terrible clothes. For example, this, and this, and this. And look at their hair. They listened to bad music too. We wear different clothes at different times of the year. I thought about this for my project. In summer, I wear shorts and t-shirts. These are clothes which keep us cool. I like wearing sunglasses. My mum and Rosa wear light dresses and sandals on their feet. My dad likes to wear a silly hat in the summer. He doesn't have a lot of hair. It protects my head from the sun, he says. It gets cold in England in the winter, and we often have snow. This is when we have to wear really warm clothes. I like playing in the snow in my big coat and boots, with a warm hat on my head and a scarf round my neck. Gloves keep my hands warm. It rains a lot in England too, so you see a lot of people wearing raincoats and carrying umbrellas. Special occasions. Sometimes clothes can be really fun. When there is a special occasion, we can dress up in different clothes. Changing our clothes can make us look like different people. Once, I went to a fancy dress party at my friend's house and all my friends looked so funny. We all wore different things. Here's a picture of us all. I was a scientist, and there was also a robot, a pilot, a shark, a doctor, 3 princesses, and a tomato. Another time, we went to the wedding of our Indian friends, and all the people there looked so beautiful. The women wore lovely dresses with lots of shiny bits on them. The name of the dress is a sari. My mum and Rosa wore saris too. They looked very pretty. My dad and I wore shalwar kameez. These are special shirts and trousers which Indian men wear. These are very light, cool clothes because it's hot in India. We went to my cousin's wedding a few months ago. Their clothes were different from the ones at the Indian wedding. My cousin is letting me use this photo of their wedding for my clothes project. Her husband is wearing a suit and my cousin's wearing a long white dress. She looks beautiful, like a princess. Clothes from the past. People wore different clothes in the past. Some of them look really silly. This is what people wore in England in the 1700s. The men wore long jackets and wigs on their heads. The wigs were often long, curly and white. The women always wore dresses. They were not very comfortable. They were very tight at the top, with large, full skirts. Small children often wore the same kinds of clothes as the adults. There were no jeans, t-shirts, or sports shoes then. People had fewer clothes then, and they didn't wash them often. This is what people wore in the 1800s. This is what people wore in the early 1920s. Women didn't start to wear trousers in England until the 1930s. They wore them for horse riding and for going to the beach. Then, in the 1940s, a lot of women started to wear trousers for work. But only young women wore trousers. Older women wore skirts. The 1960s was a very interesting time for fashion in England. Often, young people's clothes told us which music they liked and what they liked to do. And it was the same in the 1970s. Some young people in the 1970s liked to wear big trousers and big shoes. They often had big hair too. Some people liked punk music. Their fashion was really wild. Women's jackets in the 1980s had very big shoulders. They called this power dressing. In the 1990s, clothes for young people were more casual. Again, their clothes often told people which music they liked. What music will I listen to when I'm older? Which clothes will be in fashion? What will I wear to tell people who I am and what I like? Clothes round the world. I learned more and more about clothes. I started to think about what people wear in different countries. These days, people usually wear modern clothes, and there are not many differences between the countries. But on some special occasions, people in different countries wear the traditional clothes of their country. In Japan, for example, women wear kimonos. And in Scotland, men wear kilts. They are a kind of skirt. In very hot countries, people wear clothes which are good for keeping cool. This woman lives in Ghana. Her dress is very light and colourful. This lady in India is also wearing a colourful, light sari. It's more casual than the saris which women wear at weddings. In Russia, where it is very cold in winter, many people wear fur coats and hats. These are the warmest clothes. Fashion and fabric. My project book is very full now. I'm learning so much about the different kinds of clothes which people wear. Clothes can tell us a lot about people and about the world. Fashion changes all the time. For my project, I looked at the internet on my computer. I also looked at fashion magazines. I saw how fashion can change from season to season and from year to year. I cut some pages out of the fashion magazines for my project. Then I visited the library and borrowed some books. I learnt about a lot of different kinds of fabric. And I learned how we can make clothes with them. These clothes are made of wool. We use wool to make jumpers, scarves, hats, coats, and trousers. It keeps us warm. Wool comes from sheep. About 28% of our wool comes from sheep in Australia. We use leather to make jackets, shoes, and bags. It is very strong. Leather comes from cows and other animals. Clothes made from fur are very warm. It usually comes from small animals, like this fox. Many people don't agree with using animals in this way. Some of our fabrics come from plants. This is a cotton plant. These plants grow all over the world. We use cotton to make jeans, shirts, and a lot of other cool clothes. We don't make all of our clothes from animals or plants. We make some fabrics from plastic. All over the world, people are busy making fabrics and clothes in big factories. It's big business. We all have to wear clothes, and fashion changes so quickly. There are always more clothes to make. We can also make clothes with our hands. This lady is making a jumper. Harry presents his project. I worked on my clothes project for weeks. I learned so much. It was nearly the day of the project presentations. I wanted my project to be the best. I worked until late at night, putting all my pictures and words together. Mum helped me. We found pieces of fabric to stick in my book. I'll give some pieces of fabric to the other students, I said, so they can touch them. On the day of the presentation, I was tired, but I was very happy with my work. Thank you for your help, I said to my teacher. I thought about the clothes which I wear all week and the clothes which I see outside and on television. And then I couldn't stop thinking about clothes. Now I know a lot about clothes. Yes, Harry, I think you do, she said. Well done.